Are you stressing about how to keep your guests entertained at your wedding? Or worried that your dream dance floor might be like a ghost town before the night is done? What if I told you that the secret to an unforgettable wedding reception isn't about the perfect playlist or no playlist even? If you're planning a big day and want to make sure the party is one that you and your family and friends talk about for years to come, you're in the right place. I sat down with Tania Smith, the powerhouse behind Choons Moovz, a multi-ABIA award-winning entertainment business that specialises in weddings. Tania is renowned for her infectious energy, her knack for reading a crowd, and her ability to turn any event, even this interview, into a celebration. As a DJ, MC, and now celebrant, she brings her signature joy and vivaciousness to every wedding she works on, helping newlyweds and their guests create unforgettable memories. Our conversation was so jam-packed with wisdom, laughs, and practical advice that, yes, I have had to split it into 2 episodes. So in part 1, Tania shares her honest take on the age-old question, can you really get everyone on the dance floor? And if yes, how? We also dig into your timeline and how long your dance floor should actually be pumping for. And Tania shares her top tips for boosting dance floor energy, from who you invite to how you set up your space to the all-important role of lighting and DJ placement. If you want a wedding that feels authentic, joyful, and totally you, don't miss this 2-part special with one of the industry's true legends. Part 1 drops right now, and even more gold is coming your way next week in part 2. Let's get stuck into it. Unbridely is a community of pro-wedding vendors who believe in freedom and integrity in weddings, giving you options, solutions, tips and tricks to create the experience and memories that you and your fiancé really want and deserve. Because we believe that weddings are a team sport. With how-tos, stories and interviews with recently married couples, we find out what went right and what they'd change if they could go back and do it all over again. I'm Camille, and welcome to the Unbridely podcast. Hi, Tania, you gorgeous legend. Thank you so much for carving out a tiny bit of time for us in your very busy schedule.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. I'm truly honoured to have been asked to be on your very sparkly special podcast. So thank you. It's an honour.
Mate, shut up. Look at you. You are sunshine. You are joy. We're going to have to put a lot of this up on Instagram because it's not going to make sense to the poor bastards who are just listening on audio. But yeah, maybe I could describe, it's early in the morning where Tania and I are. We're probably just, a little bit sleep deprived. Tania's got a much younger daughter than me. And she's fronted up, beautiful, bright lipstick, sparkly, sunshiny smile, and the most amazing, what is it? Like a glitter rainbow jacket.
Yes, it's a tinsel jacket.
Tinsel.
Yes.
Yeah. It's special.
Yeah, there's a local lass actually made it. She's got a company called Seams Nice, like as in the seam on a dress.
Clever.
And yeah, it is very clever, and I wear it to gigs and I love it. There's always a trail of tinsel after my gigs where I've been.
Because I was just thinking, you're probably not going out to get bread and milk in that.
Sometimes I do, yeah.
Yeah, of course you do. And this is why you're here. Okay, so Tania, I know you very well. We could sit here and chat all day, quite frankly, but you're here for a very specific reason. Could you please share with the listener a bit about what you do, where you've come from?
Well, I am a DJ and I have been for quite a while. I started when I was working in commercial radio. I was on air and there was another on-air announcer there and he was a DJ as well, and I filled in for him one night and I was hooked ever since, and that was, I think, 23 years ago. And I've just always loved music, always loved dancing. I've always felt music and the vibration of music in my body. It's a very soulful experience for me, listening to music and dancing. I've just always been like that. So it was always something that naturally I would gravitate towards. And I actually see it in my daughter, who's 18 months old, and it's been quite reassuring to know that my experience is real, to see it manifest in my daughter. It's not just a figment of my imagination. And I just love my job. And as I got more experienced, I was going to say older, I gravitated more towards weddings because I became more family orientated, relationship orientated, and celebrating love and relationships and people's milestones became very important to me. And so family is a massive value of mine. And seeing families evolve through things like weddings and birthdays and celebrating, as I gravitated more towards that, DJing at weddings became very profoundly valuable to me.
Yeah. It lights you up, doesn't it? Did you do nightclubs, Tania, when you started out?
When I was in commercial radio, I was in the country. I was in Port Lincoln and then Port Augusta. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And so I played more like at the pubs. And there were a few clubs. And I also played more at people's parties and like birthdays and things
Yeah.
like that. And so I've always been more like what they call an open format DJ as opposed to a club DJ, where you play all genres, all eras, and you play to the crowd. So you read the crowd. So that's been more of a focus and a skill of mine throughout the years as opposed to more of a club DJ. I did play at a few because I do love club music and specifically disco, funk, house. But yeah, it was more of my focus to be an open format DJ. It's always been my jam.
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking, you shine, like literally. If the listener hasn't seen you perform, can you describe just how you might go about DJing a wedding and what it looks like?
Whenever I see a video of myself, I'm like, oh, wow, that chick is full on. I just think, oh my God, she's so weird. She is so weird. And I think I get those looks as well.
Well, you just described it, Tania, before, and now you're seeing it in your daughter. You feel the music. It is
That's right.
visceral for you,
Yes, it is. Yeah.
and you just don't stop moving.
Yeah, I've always been like that. Even when I'm going down the shops at like the supermarket and I'm down the aisle and they've got some lame, you know, easy listening
Music.
cruise music and I'm just like, oh my God, I haven't had this one hit wonder for ages, and I'm singing along and bopping, and I'm always in tune to what's playing wherever I go, and I'm always quite baffled when people aren't, but obviously everyone's different and that's okay. They're probably baffled by me and how I'm so obsessed with music. But I would say I never intended to do it, but I just was myself, authentic self. And when I was DJing by listening, feeling, dancing, moving to the music, and just letting it take over and being in the moment and being present. And what I found is the more I did that, people were attracted to that and it gave them permission to do the same. And I didn't really intend to do that, but that's how it evolved. And it's been really amazing to give people permission to be happy, joyous, and free and present and in the moment just for a moment, even for one song. And
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah.
It's about giving permission, I suppose. Like if I look a bit silly, then they're like, oh, she looks silly. I couldn't look worse than that. So it's okay.
Oh, you're making me cry. It's beautiful because to me, it's the ultimate expression. Like you feel it and you're showing it on the outside. So there's that, but there's also freedom in it. And I just love that. It's so good, Tania. It's so good. And that's why you get so much out of it. And then you give so much to whatever performance you're doing, wherever the hell you are. And I've seen you do this for years and years and years. And I just want to encourage the listener, if you haven't seen Tania perform, then you haven't seen a DJ perform yet. And you've got to get on her Instagram. And just while we're here, your business name, Tania?
Choons and Moovz, and it's spelled as in Choons, like CHOONS, and Moovz is spelt weird to make it match tunes, so that's
They'll
just wanted
find
to be
you.
different.
They'll find you. Okay, so we know a little bit about what you do. We know you came from the good old country. We know that you cut your teeth in like messy pubs in Port Lincoln. um, so I know, and I want to get this across to the listener, like basically what you don't know about DJing a wedding, it's not really worth knowing about. And what everyone I find asks me, all the engaged couples, even aunties and uncles and stuff like that, they want to know, how do you get everyone on the dance floor? And I wanted to, like, yeah, right off the bat, Tania, like, let's bust some wedding dance floor myths. Tell us, how do you get every guest on the dance floor?
Well, everything I'm going to say is based on experience and things that I've come to understand and know over the last 20 years. And there is a real science behind a good dance floor. There's like 101 different factors that can impact a good dance floor, and I could list them off. And I would say one of the main factors for a big dance floor, obviously, is to have good music, and a DJ, of course, would be number one, someone who can read the crowd, or a band, whatever is your thing. They both have great values, but I would say it's authenticity for me. And what I mean by that is hosting a wedding that reflects who you are as individuals and as a couple. So booking and including things and not including things that represent who you are as a couple. So, for example, if you are more relaxed and want people to be able to move around and just do their thing, then you would have a cocktail wedding. If flowers are your thing and lots of colour, then have lots of colour, and including things that you love, who you are, feel true, feel honest, feel raw. And I think it's important in weddings to do things not because they're trending or traditional, or Nana will get upset if you don't have it, things like that, because people connect to things that are authentic and real and true. If it doesn't feel authentic, that's the word that keeps coming to mind, there's a disconnect. And I feel like whenever you've got guests who are there who are also your party people, who support you, who are in there to support everything you do, and they're like 100% behind you, those types of people around you at the wedding, then they'll want to celebrate. They'll want to be happy. They'll want to party. They'll want to live life to the fullest because they're so excited to be part of the celebration of your love and your union. I think that's the number one factor when it comes to having not just a full dance floor, but an unforgettable wedding that people walk away from and say, my God, that was incredible, because it was real, it was authentic, it was meaningful. But there's lots of other different factors that come into the science of a dance floor, but that is the number one factor,
Mm, mm,
I believe.
absolutely. And, from what you said at the start about you and finding your way in the DJ world, Tania, when you were more authentic to yourself, people responded to that. And I feel like
Mm,
weddings are a big version of that, right? When the
yes,
couple are free to be themselves, then they're accepted more as well. And then, because I think people can smell disingenuous,
yes,
um, sort of keeping up with the Joneses type
yes,
weddings.
yes.
Yeah, it makes them uncomfortable, I think, and less
Mm,
likely to participate on a dance floor.
that's right, that's right. Yeah. And within reason, like we've had a lot of couples recently who've loved like punk rock or even something a bit heavier than that, and it's been great. But
Yeah.
obviously, that's not traditional, wedding music. And Nana's not going to really like Bring Me the Horizon, or maybe she's a metalhead from
Yeah,
from the
yeah, yeah.
past. I don't
Don't
know.
you judge Nana too quickly.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe she does, but
Yeah.
but what I think it's important to include, that's what you love. I think it's important to include that, but there's like a time and place. Like you're not going to be like thrashing out some of that stuff over dinner, but there's a time and place with it all. But I think it's important to include it as well. And as a DJ, I love including music that the couple love, even if it's a bit untraditional
Mm,
or not widely accepted by the entire family and things like that. And I think it's important too that people choose for their formalities songs that they love and represent who they are. There've been experiences that they've shared together, or songs that they sing, or a moment they've shared at a concert, and they just choose it because it's who they are, not because like I said, it's not trending or traditional or expected, or, what everyone else does, or, because Nana will frown. Poor Nana, she's copping it today.
I mean, I get what you're saying as well, that, you've got to put as much of yourself into like the whole wedding for people to be then comfortable, maybe a little bit later in the evening, to get on the dance floor. But I know my listeners going, but is there a trick, Tanya? Is there a way that I can make sure that every one of my guests dances? You still haven't written your vows yet, have you? Let me help. In around 20 minutes or so, you can easily write personalised wedding vows unlike anything you've heard before, that will make your fiancé feel like the most loved, understood and appreciated person on the planet. The How to Write Wedding Vows That Don't Suck instant download 17-page PDF ebook walks you through a step-by-step format for your vows, how to find the right words and phrases to describe your feelings and your fiancé, how to write that crucial first draft, and create your final wedding vows masterpiece. So if you don't know how or even where to start, if you've been Googling your little heart out, or if you've been calling them wedding vows, AEIOU, this ebook is for you. Included in there are also some bonus secrets for getting the most out of your wedding ceremony. So make sure you download your copy right now and get Write Your Wedding Vows crossed off your to-do list today. The link is in the show notes.
Well, yes, of course, like I talked about, authenticity and surrounding the people who really truly love you and support you and are happy for you is important too. Sometimes the obligatory invites can put a dampener on things if they're not 100% behind you, and I know there's a lot of politics behind weddings sometimes, and that's okay, and families got some stuff going on. That's every family. I understand that, but there's also a lot of other factors that impact the success of a dance hall. There's real science, like I said earlier. Things like lighting are really important. Like if it's really bright, people just don't find it very difficult to let go, not until later in the evening when they've had a few more drinks. But lighting is
So then you're not advocating for a fluorescent lit sort of, dental surgery kind of vibe. Is that what you're saying?
Well, if you want no dance floor, for sure, go for it. That would work really well.
Even the roaches will.
Yeah, we're scurrying away.
Yeah. Okay. So we're setting mood lighting.
That's really powerful.
Yeah.
And even dimming the lights as the night goes on is really powerful. There's really science behind it. And that can be challenging because if you've got a videographer, they need lighting, especially for the first dance and the other dancing, like at the start of the night. And as a DJ, I'm often having to try and work with that. And I can get a bit sort of pushy. Sorry, videographers probably hate me. Like as soon as the formalities are over, I'm like,
this is your platform, Tanya. Say sorry to the poor videographers.
I'm so sorry, videographers. But I'm a team player, but I'm also like, people are leaving the dance floor.
Well, it's a balance there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And it requires a lot of communication with the other suppliers. And so there's other things like spacing. If it's a really open, big dance floor, people space out, and then from afar, people think it looks dead and unexciting, and there's real subconscious messages going on throughout the night. If it's open, then people feel exposed when they are there. I think also for me as a DJ, I'm often set off into a separate room at weddings, which is very strange, but we make it work.
What do you mean in a separate room?
Oh, there's a few venues where I'm positioned in another room. Yeah. Well, it's 'cause of spacing or
Ah,
things like that.
right, right.
Like, they can't fit everyone in the same room, so I'm often in another room, and I find that challenging because even over background music, I am reading the crowd, like playing songs, seeing what people tap their toe to, what they sing along to, what they bop to, what they don't.
Yeah.
I can often see who my party people are going to be, who are the follow the leader, the Pied
Yeah,
Piper.
yeah.
I can see what's happening. I think also because I'm dancing along even throughout the night earlier, people can see me, they can read me, I can build a relationship and a rapport with guests. So I find it challenging when I'm in a separate room. I
Yeah.
make it work, but that can be challenging. Even things like that can make an impact for the success of a dance floor. Even little things like if I am positioned, if you've got a sit down wedding and I'm positioned right next to, say, the grandparents or
Ah,
people who aren't so keen on louder music, they often ask me to turn it down a little bit, which can be challenging because the people at the back of the room can't hear it then.
they're winding you up,
Yeah, yeah, and
and the
so
grandparents are like,
yeah, and, like, then I can't reach those people who are
"Oh."
the party people. So even who you position next to the DJ
Yep.
for food service, it can make an impact to the success of a dance floor. I think also keeping your guests very comfortable is a big factor. Over summer, we just had a really hot summer,
Yeah.
and if the dance floor is hot, they will only last a couple of songs before they get off and go and get a drink or try and find a fan or try and cool off.
Right.
Later on in the night, when they've had a few more drinks and gets really sweaty, they don't mind. Or if it's really cold,
Mm.
people just want to go home. You can tell if people aren't comfortable, they're
Right.
not into it. They just don't want to get into it until they've had too many drinks.
So you need to be inviting the right people, not people who are the obligation invite. You've got to make sure they're comfortable. You've got to be authentic to yourself. You've got to have decent lighting. Hopefully have the DJ in the same room. Not have the dance floor too big. I'm guessing not too small either.
I actually like it. I like cramming them in like sardines.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's back
Like,
from your pub
it
days.
it creates a real energy,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of cool when people spill out to the sides into the amongst the
Okay.
tables. It's kind of fun, yeah.
Okay. So if you had a choice, you'd go, let's keep that smaller.
Yeah, I mean, the guests probably hate it because 'cause they're all, like, sweating all over each other, but I find, like, the most epic dance floors are, a lot smaller, yeah.
So then another really big question that I get asked a lot, and I've seen in timelines, especially when the couple goes, okay, this is what we'd like to do. And we want a pumping dance floor, every single guest on there, 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, yeah, you alluded to it earlier. I was just about to go into that,
Yeah,
like timing
please.
of the dance floor. It can't be too long, can't be too short. I think when it gets to the dance floor, like quality over quantity. So you don't want people to be bored and going, come on, let's dance. But you also don't want to be like trying to force people when they're still digesting their food. They've just finished mains, or, they've been busy eating all night. They actually want to chat a bit longer.
Yeah,
And if there's pumping music and they can't hear each other talk, they just want to kind of go off to the corner and chat away because they haven't had a chance to catch up with everyone in the room.
right.
Things like that are really important. Often couples are like, "Yeah, we just want to like get started straight
Yeah.
away," and I just say to them, "Well,
Yeah,
when was the
six
last
o'clock.
time you?"
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah, and
go.
sometimes that does happen. Like people do dance from the start, but it's very natural and organic, and it's not everyone obviously who does want to dance at the start. And often, as the DJ, if there are a few guests who do want to dance from the start, I will play to them, but I won't be chewing out all the bangers, and I'll play it a bit louder, but not too loud because you want the rest of the guests to enjoy it. So I do like that when, like a core group do want to start dancing early and we just kind of have our own little fun while everyone else does their own thing. I would rather that than try and just get it started early just because that core group want to dance,
Yeah,
but everyone
right.
else doesn't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like timing is huge. I mean, I often say to couples when they say, "Oh, let's get dancing at 8 o'clock," and they finish at midnight, and I'll be like, "Have you finished mains then? Like, or have
Right.
you finished all your food service then?" And like I'll just often say to them, "When was the last time you did a 4-hour cardio workout?" And they'll be like, "Oh, never." And I'll be like, "Yeah, that's right."
Well,
I was like, "I have. I've often
yeah,
but
3 times a week, baby.
yes, that's right." But I don't know many people who do, and what happens then when you start it that early is it starts off well, but then there's, like, a dead patch, and
Right.
it's not, awful. And I do often keep a core group dancing or, groups, but I believe the dance floor then loses its excitement and its luster and its joy and vivolity. I don't
Yeah.
even know if that's a real word. Vividness, like it just loses its passion. And, it does come back towards the end and you can have a great epic crescendo at the end, which is great. But I'd rather just have it like from start to finish.
Mm, mm.
And I would say like 2.5 hours max, the prime time for a dance floor.
That's really surprising.
Yeah. One of my recent favourite dance floors only went for about an hour and 40 minutes, and it was it was just so epic.
Yes.
Like, it was just packed from start to finish, and I love it when people are like, "I just didn't want that to end," but yeah, like, everyone's different too, and you've got to remember, like, just because everyone isn't on the dance floor doesn't mean that everyone didn't have a good time. We've got to remember not everyone loves to dance. Like, some people love to chat, and they've had a great time just being amongst the atmosphere, and
Mm,
that's
mm.
enough for them, and, some people hate dancing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a real expectation to get everyone on there for the entire time, and that's just not possible or even realistic because not everyone wants to dance, and that's okay.
I'm kind of low key happy that you said that. Because when I was younger, I was completely happy to get up and, do the 4-hour cardio thing. But now I take a lot of joy from catching up with others, and I'm
Mm,
thrilled for that group who are on the dance floor, who are, cutting shapes and they're sweating and they run back over to me and they grab a drink. Cam, you sure you don't want to come on? No, I'm good, mate. You keep
yeah,
going. And they
yeah,
go back and, off they go again. And I'm perfectly happy. And if a really, like one of my fave songs comes on, you might get me for one song, but that's still a really good experience for me, whereas
that's
I know
right.
you wouldn't be happy with that, Tanya. So
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm kinda glad you said it because I don't think everyone has to be on the dance floor to have a
that's right.
really great, like, wedding, for example.
That's right. And even during COVID showed me when we couldn't dance
Mm.
that you can still we still had I was surprised, even though we couldn't dance, we still had such a fun time bringing good vibes and an atmosphere. It was very surprising. It really showed me that we can still have a good time. I think I'm secretly,
You can tell me, I won't tell anyone.
well, yeah, I'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, of course.
Um, Often we were like dancing in secret when people weren't looking, and that
Sure.
was that was half the fun when we were being like innocently
You
naughty.
naughty, naughty girl.
Or, finding ways where we'd sit on chairs and, like,
Yeah,
like, dance. It was so
yeah.
funny.
"Oh, I moved my arm a bit. Oh, no, I was just dancing."
And all having our
Yeah,
1.5 meter,
from each
measuring
other.
sticks to, like, it was
Oh, with all the best intentions for keeping everyone healthy,
safe. That's right.
the music sometimes gets you.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. It was kind of half the thrill of, like, resisting the pleasure of the
Very
the disco
footloose.
finger.
Love it. Love it. That about wraps it up for this episode of the Unbridely podcast. For the links and resources we mentioned, please head to the show notes. And if you love the show, please review and subscribe on the podcast platform you're on now so you don't miss out on a single episode. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, weddings are a team sport. Catch you soon.